Hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours. This evening is the conclusion of the intro scene for our newest technocratic abomination. I apologize, but that's how I will forever think of you. Who has just been transported, or would it be more correct to say has been uplifted, perhaps, into basically a plane of mindscapes where everywhere there is a door, and behind some of those doors there may occasionally be an answer. You will see D'Onofrio very casually flick open a lighter and light a cigarette as she stands next to you, and she will offer you the pack. Like, would you like a cigarette? Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted. Hyun will just kind of like wave his hand a little bit at the cigarette, trying to say no thank you, as he's trying to figure out what the fuck just happened.
If it helps, most people, when they're, transported here, shit themselves or vomit the first time. So you're already doing better than most people.
To be fair, I also apparently have a spine made of literal steel, or some other metal.
Oh, it's some other metal. It's not just ordinary steel, if it helps.
It doesn't, but I appreciate the effort.
I am not helpful. However, I'm taking you to someone who is imminently and infinitely helpful, if it helps.
That does help, thank you.
She will proceed to kind of pad down. As you look down, you'll notice the fact that you are in fact standing on what looks to be some kind of white stone road that seems to weave its way between a number of very large, almost office doors. They look very dominating kind of office doors, as in the doors that you would find at a university of higher learning, but blown up to be about 20 foot by 20 foot.
Okay.
And she'll say, now, where exactly did we put his door? I'll find it eventually. I mean, you've got a couple of decades to wait, haven't you?
I guess theoretically. I don't know.
Excellent. That's all I ever... Ah, here we are. You will see she will stop at one of the larger doors. Interestingly enough, as you look at the doors, some of them have different motifs on them. You will see one that has a number of skulls that seem to be connected via chains. You'll see another that has a tree that grows, and you can see the apples hanging heavily from the boughs. This one, however, has more of a clockwork steampunkoid bent, and you can see the little cogs whirring. Now, okay, I say this with all the love in the universe. By the way, what was your name again?
Hyun.
Excellent. Don't make any sudden moves.
Oh, okay.
You'll see her rap on the door, at which point you'll hear it as the doors swing open on their large hinges, and she will make her way inside.
Hyun will cautiously follow her inside.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. You find yourself in a long, long building that has the smell of an auto repair shop. You kind of, the smell of oil and the smell of engine fluid. You see a number of people, a number of ordinary, or what look to be ordinary people, pottering around in one form or another. They are seeking to a number of projects. One of them includes what looks to be a souped-up 1950s style hot rod, and a bunch of other items and objects. One of them is also working on. You stop. You look up. You look down. You look side to side, and you think, why in the name of Christ did somebody create a cosplay prop version of the Iron Giant from a Disney movie?
Iron Giant wasn't Disney, but I understand.
I was going to say, I immediately knew that the moment it left my lips.
To be fair, Hyun probably doesn't know that right now, so...
I was going to point out, if it had been a Disney movie, it'd have been popular.
Oof.
I went there, son. I went there.
So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at all the stuff, and he'll turn to the woman beside him and say, "So, who exactly are we talking to?"
You're here to see me, I would assume, says a voice from very uncomfortably behind you, as in we're talking like inches.
Hyun fights every urge in him to just spin around and jump back because he's a little paranoid right now. And he'll say, he'll just very calmly turn around and say, yeah, I guess.
You will see this man standing behind you. The optic over his right eye moves in as more lenses flick out from it in order to get a better look at you, you would presume. And he'll say, "Ah, fascinating. It is, you are a person, aren't you?"
Jury's still kind of out on that, I guess.
Yes. He will say, "Interesting. There are indeed organic components. However, you are a marvel. Where are my manners? Xanavar Bonnie, Xanavar Bonnie Viditius, at your service. Magister Mundi of the Order of Hermes."
Nice to meet you. I'm Hyun Choi. Not sure what any of those titles really mean, or really what's happening right now.
Excellent. Ignorance is always the first step. He will motion for you to sit down in what looks to be a very. He will lead you to what looks like a very stylized dentist's chair.
Okay.
And he will ask, "Will you please take a seat?"
Sure. He'll go over and take a seat.
You'll see him take off his coat, and he is stood wearing exactly what he is shown pictured as. He will then open a tablet that he will remove from a pocket, and you'll see him click buttons. The buttons have weird symbols that aren't any kind of Asian or Greco-Roman styled alphabet you've ever seen. And eventually, the light patterns from the actual tablet start to throw themselves up onto what looks to be almost like a holographic projection that he continues to push buttons on, and he'll say, "So, what is the first thing that you remember?"
I woke up in a facility, I guess, a lab or something, kind of like an operating room. And there's this monk-looking man who helped me off of a table, said, "My name's Morahai," and then helped me escape the place.
At the mention of the name, the two hermetics will exchange a look, at which point D'Onofrier will light up another cigarette, and she'll say, "That's interesting. I thought he was dead."
Well, apparently not, unless he happened to die in the last, few weeks that I've been traveling.
No, as in I thought he was dead for years, but that's neither here nor there. The man will say, "Yes, please don't smoke in here." She will look very chagrined and stub out the cigarette. But he will look over you and he'll say, "I will be frank with you. I will be frank with you, sir. Do you wish me to be honest in my appraisal of your condition?"
Preferably, I'd rather like to have some straight answers.
As you say. Your spine is metal, and most of your internal organs have been removed, with the blood supplies and the filtration thereof having been linked to several keynote devices that run up and down your spinal column. You have no, well, you have no heart, you have no liver, you have no kidneys. You have lungs, but those have also been heavily augmented.
Well, I knew about the spine bit.
I would give an estimation that you could survive more than likely relatively intact with 65% of your organic material.
Good to know, although I kind of hope I don't have to find out for sure or not.
Yes. Now that is interesting. You'll see him stop, and you'll see his optic again until there are about 6 different layers of magnification. And he looks at your face, and he'll say, "That makes sense. You have a homing beacon located behind your left eye."
Oh, that's awkward.
Would you like me to deactivate it for you?
Please.
Does the phrase, you'll see him quirk his head to the side and he'll say, does an enterprise by the name of Kawanaki Industries mean anything to you?
No. No, actually, no. I don't remember much, though.
And Kawanaki Industries are a front for a technocratic organization known as Iteration X, operating out of Tokyo. It would appear as though several of your augments were produced by them, including the homing beacon located behind your eye.
I see.
You'll hear him mutter something, and he'll move his hand in an odd series of patterns, at which point you will feel a kind of like a shock that is painful but does not do enough damage to cause you damage behind your left eye.
Jeez. I'm assuming that was the deactivation thing.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna not be mad about that then.
My apologies. I didn't expect it or anticipate it to give off an electrical feedback. I must admit, Mr. Choi, I am entirely perplexed as to many things as in relation to you. This is incredibly advanced work. Not only that, but I am unable to access your memory files in the portions of your brain that are themselves mechanical. They have been heavily encrypted with encrypts that I cannot even break, which is a very interesting statement of affairs.
Yeah, I was talking to this one guy in a place where she found me, and he'll point at the hermetic woman, who I, for the love of God, cannot remember the name for some reason.
Her name is D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio, okay. And there's this guy there. He said he was part of the Technocratic Union, and I asked him if he could unlock those things because I was curious. And whenever I tried to access something that I guess was in there, it said I didn't have proper clearance, and he told me he couldn't unless I joined with them. Which I didn't, by the way, just in case you were worried about that. But
I don't believe that you did. Don't worry about it, Mr. Choi. No. I also don't necessarily know if he had the ability to unlock these files, as they appear to have been personally encrypted with a personal series of encryption codes.
So you think whoever did this to me did it, or that I perhaps did it and then just immediately forgot all of it, or what?
There are 2 major possibilities. Either one, you are correct, a certain individual did this and is responsible for all of the above, or yes, that you encrypted your own memories.
Why would I do? Well, no, why would I do that?
Many reasons. In order to protect information that would otherwise be wrested from you, for example.
I guess. I don't know. That makes sense.
Once again, I must emphasize, I do not know the answer to this question.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
As I've said, I don't understand why it is they did this, and I don't understand the reasoning for their actions. This is incredibly advanced work for them to give to just anyone. Really, if you were just an ordinary person on the street, there is no reason for them to give you all of this upgraded mechanics. It serves no purpose to them. You must understand, the Technocratic Union do not do things for frugalities. They do not do things for the social, how would you phrase, the socially minded method of humanity.
Hmm. So there's some reason that they grabbed me.
Yes, I believe so. Were I to be a betting man, I would say that if you were interested, you may be able to find some semblance of answers in the database for Kawanaki Industries. I'm led to understand that you took him in Dublin, yes? Yes, Manchester Monday. Hmm. There is a supply facility for Kawanaki Industries Europe there. They produce things like smartphones and other items in order to be resold to various different in order to be sold to various different cell phone networks. You may be able to find some semblance of answers in their mainframe if you're able to access it.
That seems easier said than done, since if they have the backing of this organization, they've probably got it pretty well safe.
He will nod. Very well. Well then, Mr. Choi, I would like to offer you the hospitality of the Order of Hermes until such time as you are able to put your feet on the ground.
Well, I would appreciate that. Sounds way better than wandering the streets of a country that I don't even know about.
I should think so. All right then. One moment, sorry, just a second. Very good. In that case, Mr. Choi, it has been a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I look forward to hearing about your escapades.
I guess I'll keep you updated.
The woman will step forward again and she'll say, "Come on then, Mr. Choi. I'm going to go and have to find you a bed somewhere."
All right.
She'll offer a hand to like help you out the chair.
Yeah, he'll take it and get out of here.
All right then, Manchester Monday. We thank you for your time. He'll kind of give a dismissive wave of the hand.
Yeah, thank you for taking a look in the information and everything.
As you leave the room, or as you leave the large workshop, she'll smile and say, "Well, on the bright side, no vaporizations."
Good to know that could have been in the cards, I guess.
Right, well, I better take you back to the Chantry then. Come on.
Alrighty, he'll follow her.
All right, we're going to call the scene there because at this point I will need Anthony at some point. But
Okay.
you may consider yourself intro to do. So thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.